Greetings, everybody. This video is my way of giving you pointers on how to get over heartbreak, the death of a relationship, really. Not just heartbreak, but this could relate to any breakup, whether it be your work, your relationship. You've lost something or someone and you're devastated about it. 10 ways how to move on from the death of a relationship. Number one, the first thing you're going to do, and I have my notes here because I don't want to forget these critical points. The first thing you're going to do is acknowledge that it's over. No denial. Acknowledge that, you got fired from the job or you had to give up that job because it was just not working out. You broke up from somebody or somebody dumped you. Same difference. The first thing you've got to do is acknowledge it's over. There must be no denial. You can't wish, looking at my notes, you mustn't wish at this point when it's over, when you see that the person dumped you or you lost a job or whatever is the situation it is that you're going through. You can't be in any denial, and you can't start wishing things would be different. You can't go back to how it used to be before it ended. If it ends, it was not for you. It ceases to be a blessing to you. Otherwise, it wouldn't end. Okay? It does not serve your higher purpose anymore. If it was meant to be, you would have been at that place where you're talking and you're coming up with solutions of how to make this situation better. But if it's over, it's over. Accept it. Number two, it's natural to grieve. With any loss in your life, it's natural to grieve. And so during this process, be careful how deep you go without understanding the end of all things is the birth or the beginning of something else. So as you're grieving, which is natural, our heart is this organ that allows us to feel pain, to feel joy, to feel sorrow, our heart. And so allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, whatever emotion you're feeling, but be careful of how deep you go with it. Because while you're grieving, you're also sending a message to the universe to say, you don't trust that the universe understands what is best for you. Also, this is a critical stage in your grieving. So gratitude must be shown to the entities at work. So as much as your heart feels like it's ripped out of your chest, as much as you feel like I'm going to die, I'm going to suffer because I've lost this job, understand that at this point, while you're crying, you have to be saying, forgive me, to whomever you believe in. Forgive me for this moment of weakness because I do understand that there are better things ahead. And that you've got a plan for my life that is better than anything that I could desire for myself. There is always an invisible hand at work, creating a circumstance for you for your life to be better, for your joy to abound. If you understand that, even as you're crying, even as you're going home from work, from being fired, and thinking to yourself, your world is falling apart, even at the moment, say to the universe, I'm sorry, please give me strength. I understand that you have something greater for me or someone better for me. Make sure you're not insulting the invisible hands at work. Make sure that no matter how painful it is and you're crying, even at that point, you ask for strength. And you acknowledge that this, I know, is for the better. Give me strength to deal with it. Number three, accept the loss. Accepting the loss must cause pain. Of course, the moment you decide or you realize this is it, you're going to feel this pain, this horrible pain. And it's going to be excruciating. It's going to hurt. You're going to feel sad. You're going to move through the different stages of grief. You're going to get angry. Let them flow naturally. But at the end of the day, you are going to be glad. You're going to be happy for what just happened. You will be happy. I have told people that many years, one day you're going to laugh about this. They always say, there's no way I'm going to laugh about this. You will. You will get over it. You will. You will get over a breakup. You will get over a heartache. You will get over losing that job. And you look back and say to yourself, oh my goodness, what a blessing. Number 4, sever all ties with lovers, with your workplace. I don't care how much you say this person is your friend. If it is over, you need that distance. You need to break yourself away. So if you have friends at work, I'm not saying you can't talk to your friends anymore, but you need that distance. You need to break. Even in workplace situations, when people are fired, usually they send letters around to tell people, oh, don't be messing with this person. This person doesn't work with us anymore or whatever. And in relationships, you love your mother-in-law and you love your sister, your daughter, your sister-in-laws, and you love your in-laws, and that's all nice and dandy. But you know what? Their family member, their loved one, broke up with you, or you had to let that person go. And at this point, you need to separate yourself. Separate yourself from these individuals. You need time to heal. As long as you stay close to the source of your pain, you will not move on. That includes all social media. You're not looking at this person's Facebook. You're not going on Twitter. You're not going on Instagram. You're not going on YouTube. If a person is a YouTuber, you're not going to be watching their thing to hear what they're saying or doing. It is only going to cause you more pain. You've got to sever that. Maybe later on in life you can reconnect. But while you're going through this, you've got to distance yourself from this individual, not stay there and watch what they're doing and what they're saying and hear what their family is saying. And, you know, he has a girlfriend and the mom says she likes you, but she likes you better than this news. This is only going to cause you grief. Why would you want to do that to yourself? You must heal. Then number 5, don't try to find a replacement. Now, if it's a job, you're going to have to find a new job. You still have to pay bills and so on and so forth. But at this point, you start to critically think, this would be a good opportunity to change your career if you can. Opportunity to go towards something, because you've lost the job already. You done lost the job already. So this would be an opportunity for say, you know what, I always was interested in this. And if it's not where you're at now in your work, then it's opportunity to go pursue that. Maybe you might want to go back to school. Maybe you might want to change your, career, whatever the circumstance of you losing that job, take that into account and apply that to the way you handle that breakup. And then if it's a relationship situation, this would be a good time to go on vacation if you can afford to go. This would be a great time for you to say, you know what, let me do some self-love. Let me do some reflection, because no matter what happens when the relationship ends, you have to look at the role that you played. Did you go into a job that you didn't really like and you're not able to perform as well as you should because it's not a job that you loved? Or was it something where you were at work and you were always giving 110% and people didn't appreciate you, and you always bend over backwards for other people and they abused you? Now it's time to reflect on that, to say, you know what, I love my job and I like to be efficient and I like to be a person who goes and give hard day's work for what I'm paid. But this is the time to evaluate your specific situation, to say, okay, at this point in the game, what do I do going forward? You're coming to acceptance and you're thinking, okay, how can I use this situation to better myself, to grow from it, to learn from it, and so on. So you're not trying to find a replacement in the same role, be it a job or a man. Don't, some people say, get under a next man or a next woman, or on top of another person just to get over the other person. Big mistake, because what you're doing, you're not healing, you're suppressing. And what you're doing is inviting other negative energies into your space before you've cleansed yourself. There's a physical thing to do to separate yourself from that person that you were involved with. And we can talk about that another time. But this is time for you to, cleanse yourself, to erase these negative energies and vibrations that are surrounding you at this time. Because every breakup, their energies at work. tugging you, that there are negative energies, dark energies around you, that it'll make you fall into depression because of this breakup. So you've got to be very careful how you handle it. It's okay to stay alone. Let it burn. It's a way for you to learn, about why this thing ended. And the only way to clear that energy is to be alone. It's okay to be alone. And there are times when you don't even share this painful situation with others, because it isn't everybody that you share your story that actually is going to empathize with you and actually mean you well. Some only want to know your story so that they can take a mental note of using it against you. And this is a very painful time, regardless of the loss, losing the job, losing the lover, whatever it is that you've lost. Careful about who you share this with. If the person is someone who is going to encourage you to feel sorry for yourself, that's not the person to be with. And if it's someone who's going to tell you that you're not allowed to feel hurt, that's not the person either. You have to find a balance. Number 6, find something, not someone. So you find something to keep yourself busy, to keep yourself occupied. Find an opportunity to pursue those areas of interest that you have neglected, that you have ignored. So many of us, when we're in relationships, we tend to put the other person first. We always put their needs ahead of our own, and we don't pursue our areas of interest. And then when the relationship ends, you're so resentful, you're so hurt because you gave too much. I am saying here and now that when you can't give 100% to anyone, then that means you have 0 for yourself. If we're talking about percentages, you can't give somebody 100% of you, and all you're left with is 0. And when you do that, there is going to be a certain amount of resentment, a certain amount of devastation left in your life because you saved nothing for yourself. So in your relationship or in your work or whatever it is, you've got to hold something back for yourself and give as much as you're able to lose. So when you lose, whatever you give to somebody, whatever you lose, you don't feel hurt. It's like, instead of it being a loan, it's more like a gift. Apply your life, your love, your whatever it is that you're giving to somebody, see it as a gift. So when you give someone something and they take it, and regardless of how they behave, how they act in the future, you won't have these deep regrets because it was not a loan, it was a gift. Remember that. So you're staying busy. Number 6, you're staying busy. You're finally finding something that is good for you. Have you ever gone out by yourself? Go out to dinner. Even if you're having dinner, find a corner in that restaurant where you're crying and you're crying in your meal, but you're having this dinner. You're doing something to yourself. You're going on vacation. Go on vacation by yourself. Just go, and when you're there, you don't know anybody, nobody knows you. So when you find a corner to lay down under that palm tree and you feel like crying and blowing your nose, nobody will know the difference. Put on your shades and cry yourself a river. But you know that when you're crying, at that time, you're crying also with gratitude to say, thank you for saving me from this thing that I don't know what you saved me from. Or thank you for preparing me for this great thing that I would have missed out if this opportunity it wasn't closed, or if this person didn't leave, whether I let them go or they let me go. Number 8, if someone dumped you, no, they have actually saved you from something. This is a backpedal on that one. They're saving you from a pending doom. So you lost a job, for example, and you're like so devastated. It was such a nice environment. Everybody was so nice. But at the end of the day, what you don't see is that this company was going to be closed down a year down the road. And it would have closed down a year down the road, right after you purchased a house, right after you got yourself with some big financial commitment, which would not have been good. They're saving you from something you just don't know yet. Some pending doom. And it's a universe way of saying to you, you deserve better, or I'm saving you from this thing. Please understand, there's no time at all when you lose something or something is removed from your life. That is not a blessing. It's always a blessing. At the time when it's happening, raw emotions and pain prevent you from seeing that. Number 9, don't let the individual get the satisfaction of seeing you crumble. This is where your ego and your pride kick in. Never let someone who let you go see that you love them more than you love yourself. Because by falling into a deep depression by giving up on yourself, giving up on your dreams, just groveling in self-pity, you are showing that person that they did the right thing. You're going to convince that individual that, you know what, I let that go. That person wasn't worth my while. That person is a loser. That person is so pathetic. That person doesn't value themselves enough to say that I'm worthy. I'm beautiful. I am useful. I can bring whatever it is that I have, that I gave to this work or I gave to this person, I can bring it somewhere else and bless them. And they in turn will appreciate me. The moment people start showing you that they don't appreciate you, you have to start loving yourself more. To say, you know what? I'm not getting love from you. I'm not getting appreciation from you. Therefore, I have to turn that love and that appreciation for myself. You can't wait for someone else to do that for you. So it's your chance to challenge yourself to become greater than you are. Feeling sorry for yourself, falling into depression, as I said earlier on, will not let that person see you as valuable. They not want you. They will not want you. They don't see you as someone like, oh, I should have kept you. You must always let these individuals regret that they let you go. Or if you have to let them go, regret that you had to let them go. Because sometimes you have to make that decision. You don't always have to wait for someone else to let you go. You can let them go if you see they no longer serve your higher purpose. Doesn't bring joy and harmony to your environment, or doesn't allow you to be progressive, doesn't allow you to thrive in workplace situations. You're working at places they don't appreciate you, and you keep staying there. You're so loyal, and as you're staying with them, they don't appreciate you, and financially your life is falling apart, and your commitment and dedication to people who don't appreciate you is nonsense. You can't do that. So whether they let you go or you had to let yourself go, at this point, you must not let those individuals feel like they did the right thing to let you go, or look that, you know, she or he let me go and I'm better because of it. No, you have to make sure that they miss you, and that you're not just doing it because you want them to miss you. You're doing it because you know what, I recognize my worth. I know my value. And if I had to go because you didn't know how to create an environment for me to stay, or you let me go, worst if that person dumped you or that person fired you, you got to say to yourself, okay, the challenge is on to be better and to grow and to know that this thing happened to me and it motivated me to be a better person. Those persons will never miss you. As I said before, they'll only despise you further if you try to cling on to people or trying to be desperate. You got fired. You got fired already, and you're there begging and crying. No, where's your dignity? Keep that stuff to yourself. Walk out with your head high. Have pride in yourself to say, you know what? This is just one job. There are many more. This is just one man. This is just one woman. Who are you? I was created in the image and likeness of what is great and beautiful. And the universe has just me, just one special me. And if this person no longer see that, then I have to see that and remind myself that there is someone out there, someplace that I am going to go and grace them with my presence and my beauty and bring something interesting and new to that new space. So if you're clingy, they won't miss you. No matter how miserable you are, never let those people see you grovel. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Number 10, never go back to someone who shows you that they know how to leave you or live without you. Bad message of that's a bad message of lack of self-esteem, lack of worth. Never go back to somebody. I don't care how they're nice. Now, if you were a child and you were dating a guy or you were dating a girl and you were separated by distance, parents moved away, you never saw the person again, that's different. But the person look at you and say, I don't love you anymore. And you see that person moving on with somebody, especially if they're moving on quickly, you're moving on fast with another person. You say to yourself, wow, it will hurt because we're human beings. But they move on so quickly, they never loved you. Because people can break up and it takes a little time for either party to move on. The moment someone jumps out, either they're trying to heal the pain that they're feeling or they just never really loved you. And understand that a lot of times when if you get fired from work, it's not that day that they decided months ahead that they were going to let you go. And for whatever reason, they're covering their bases, they're making sure you can't sue them, or the individual, try to find someone else before they dumped you, or the person was just using you to get ahead. There is always, it's a fact. It's a fact that by the time the relationship ends and you realize that it's ending, and if you look back, you'll see all the signs. But by the time you come to acceptance that it's over, it was over long before. Think about these things, apply them to your life. And number one and most important thing is love yourself. And if you're not loving yourself, learn how to. Stay blessed, everybody.